Okay, let's talk about something that's been really irking me recently.
It seems like everyone's turned their back on Morocco. It happened in the 2022 World Cup where we had global support until we didn't. And it's happening again. I have no idea why this happens. And whilst there's a global discussion.
So a lot of Moroccans are confused. They don't know why a lot of people are hating on them. They are confused. They don't know why. Acting victims. But nobody hates you. It's your actions, yeah? And I'm here to remind you, during the 2024 World Cup? I don't even remember what year it is. You guys said you were not Africans, not the Africans said you were not Africans. And then everybody switched. Because you guys said you were not African. That's why people switched. Everybody was supporting you. I was supporting you. Yeah? That's why you say you are Arab. And everybody said, okay, go back to your Arab daddies. Yeah? During last year competition, the Moroccan coach, is it Mbemba or I don't remember the guy. I think I made a video on that. Said some racist thing to one of the was it Congo, a Congolese player? I'm not sure. And it was a whole thing. They almost brought on go research this. I'm not like so it's your actions. Some of the things you do and say, that's why people are judging you based on that. Yeah?
It's proper not nice how the AFCON finals turned into some weirdness. Understand that if you're a black African, you would have probably been rooting for another black African nation. You know, people connect more with people who share features or things like that. Yeah, I totally get that, and that's okay. But to say things like, you know, they're not African, it's going a bit too far now. It's going a bit, yeah. Yes, with different colours, we have different features. But the majority of them, their ancestry is indigenous to the land. I want you guys to take that in. The Amazigh people, like, they're indigenous to the land. They've been there. So let's not be doing that. Okay, we're from sub-Saharan Africa, we're darker, we've got different features. Let's not be acting like we're not all on one continent. Every single continent has racial diversity. India and China are on the same continent. They don't look the same. Yeah? So being African doesn't mean being black. Some people are brown. Some people are kind of beige. You know? This does not include white South Africans. Just hold your corner. But let's be guided.
Everyone that knows me knows I don't like making these type of videos, but sometimes you have to give people a reality check. For every single Moroccan going on all these social media platforms trying to spread as if you're the victim, the whole world is against Morocco, sometimes look in the mirror and ask yourself, why would we be the victims? If you just think the whole world simultaneously woke up and said, you know what, we're all going to be against Morocco today, for fun, then I don't know what to tell you. I got Moroccans in my comments. When the whole world's against you, you know you do something right. You're not Jesus. Wake up. Buddy, you're not Jesus. I got people saying, man, the whole world's just jealous of us. What is it? What does Morocco have that the rest of the world doesn't have? If the rest of the world is jealous of you, what does Morocco possess that the rest of the world doesn't? Please, somebody tell me. Is it curly hair products? What is it? I don't like this victim thing. And I would have made this exact same video with any other country because I hate to start crying. Stop. You find out about a person, how they are in defeat. And by the looks of it, hey, buddy, look in the mirror. By the looks of it, y'all lost, and look what social media looks like. Look what social media looks like now that you guys lost. Take a look in the mirror. What does it look like today? The same way y'all acting is the same way Barcelona fans act every single time they lose. Every time they lose, it's corrupt. This happened. It's people like this that ruin the beautiful sport. Genuinely. Every single social media platform. So I've been seeing the responses. The Moroccans that are going in comments, spewing hateful rhetoric or saying racist things. Like I said, look in the mirror. You find out about a person, how they are in defeat. This video isn't even specifically aimed just about Moroccans. Every single team that loses, country, national team, whatever sport, stop crying. You are not victims. You had a chance in the last minute of the game to put the penalty away and win. I understand everybody has pride, everyone has ego, but you have people that you can tell have never watched the sport prop up their phone. Man, at least we lost like real men. At least we didn't walk off the field. You wouldn't have said that if you won. If he scored the penalty, you wouldn't have been saying any of this. Stop it. Stop this fake gimmick. Come on. Come on, people. Let's wake up. We gotta wake up. This goes for any team, any person that loses and starts making excuses. You can look at all my social media. You have never seen Madrid lose and me utter the word referee, utter the word corrupt. Stop crying. It is a sport of 11v11. May the best man win. Will the referee be right every single time? No. But come on. I did not want the game to end like that. But if the game ended like that, I promise you, you would not see me on social media platforms spreading hateful rhetoric, hate speech, racist things in comments because I'm a normal human being. I'm a normal human being. Come on, people. Let's get with the program. Let's wake up. Let's wake up.
This whole AFCON finals has shown how jealous people are of Moroccans. Not even just the finals, the whole tournament. Since the beginning, it's been Morocco versus the whole of Africa, and you can argue with the wall with this one because people are still focusing on Morocco getting second place. Alhamdulillah, that is a really, really good place, but not focusing on Senegal, the winners. And for people saying Morocco is not even an African country, so why did you participate in the AFCON that was held in Morocco? And I saw somewhere in 2028 it's going to be held in Morocco again, so are you going to go? Yes, you are. And where is it? In Morocco, which is in Africa.
As a Moroccan, the amount of microaggressions and racism towards the Senegalese team and their fans is absolutely vile and disgusting, and it's something that we need to address. Pointing lasers at their players in an effort to distract them, accusing them of witchcraft and black magic, leaving nasty comments like these, essentially insinuating that they're not civilized, calling for Senegalese people to be kicked out of Morocco, telling those who stood by Senegal and supported Senegal that instead of vacationing in Marrakesh, they should go and visit Dakar, the capital city of Senegal. More nasty comments like these, threatening to use physical violence against any Senegalese person that is coming into Morocco looking for a better life and may find themselves often in desperate situations, struggling to make ends meet, essentially saying that they won't be giving them any money. Unfortunately, it isn't just a few rotten apples, and colorism, racism, and other forms of ignorance are very deeply integrated into many North African communities. And this is exactly why many fellow African countries are often dismissive of our Africanness and hesitant when it comes to engaging with our communities. I really want to see more North African creators actually talk about this behavior and address this. And overall, I'm really, really, really sorry, and I have nothing but love and support for Senegal, and well done to them for winning the African Cup of Nations.
Yes, guys, I've been seeing a lot of targeted racism and hate towards Morocco, and a lot of it is because of a certain video that's actually fake. I'm gonna play it for you lot right now. In the video it says "Atilul banan Morocci hayawan." You lot can research what that means. Everyone knows what hayawan means, and you guys can imagine where that video was made. It has nothing to do with Senegal or anything like that. So for you lot using it as fact as to why Moroccans are racist, which even if it was and is clearly a fake video, doesn't give anyone the right to be racist. Just because a minority does something doesn't allow you to hate a whole nation and to discriminate against the whole nation. So you lot, please don't just take anything you see on TikTok as fact, which I see people doing everywhere. Actually go to Morocco, see how it is, see how the people treat you, and you'll be amazed.
Senegal used black magic to win the AFCON finals. And the only evidence they have is an AI-generated video. And the thing that bothers me most about this, if it were a white country that won from Morocco, if it were like Belgium, Sweden, UK, any of those countries, if any of those countries had won a game against Morocco, they would have been like, yeah, they were just better. Now there's a black country defeating Morocco, and they're saying it's black magic. It's not black magic, it's just the magic of blackness. Take your loss, accept it, and just move on with your life.
Morocco and Moroccans deserve everything that's happening to them online right now. No word of a lie. You guys deserve to be getting cooked the way you are getting cooked. While the rest of the world is crying over the AFCON results, did you lot know that 2 black reporters were found in Morocco? A Malian reporter and a Cameroonian reporter who both went over there to watch the football. They both criticized the referees in the Morocco matches. Lo and behold, they were found miraculously in their hotel rooms. You guys want to come online and be disingenuous. After you lot lost the match, Moroccans were outside. They had bananas on ropes and they were stringing it up, saying the monkeys won it. All we've seen online is freaking ugliness from you guys. And you wonder why the whole world assembled. Bro, even Europeans, Brazilians, everybody was rooting for Senegal apart from you. And we all know why. You guys want to act like you don't know why the world feels the way they feel about you. Because a lot of these North African countries, you don't consider yourselves African, and in the same way the rest of Africa considers themselves Africans. And you carry a very racist and very Arab sentiment, and you met that, do you understand, discrimination on the rest of Africa. You guys want to come online and cry, woe is me, woe is me. You lot deserve everything that's happening to you right now. Let me tell you something. You lot are lucky you didn't win that football match, because you were about to become a pariah for the rest of the world. I promise you. So as bad as you lot think it is right now, thank your lucky stars you did not win that match. Because I promise you, you would have become a pariah, bro. I promise you. We all saw the corruption. We all saw everything that's happening. You guys want to pretend the world doesn't have eyes. The world is watching. And as one of the Senegalese players said to the referee, Allah is watching. I know that's a language you lot understand.
Hey guys, it's Peters Everything. I'm back with another video. A disclaimer. This is not intended to call out anyone other than racists and people who do not know themselves and people who look down on other Africans due to colorism, because there are native Moroccans, there are native Algerians, there are native North Africans from Amazigh tribes, the Tuareg people, and I'm educated enough to know this. So if it then doesn't become a thing of like Africans versus Africans and it being racism, then it just becomes a thing of colorism, then like looking down, the lighter ones looking down on the darker ones, which is still problematic. There's something that's been irking me recently that I just want to get off my chest. Obviously my niche is food. When it comes to my YouTube, I just talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I just felt like it wasn't really appropriate for the food page, so I thought, let me come onto YouTube and talk my shit, because something's really been irking me, and you already know I love explaining things chronologically. Before I get into it, disclaimer, this is not intended to offend, it's not created to cause more division, and it's not intended to spread hate. The reason for this is getting it off my chest, but also educating a real problem. Remember, it's us the people against the problem, which is seemingly racism, colorism, discrimination, and not us against each other, because I'll be real, that is what the devil wants. And I had to hold myself for a minute and realize this is the separation that the devil is like rubbing his hands like a fly together about. But I think nonetheless, I can see why people are mad and triggered. Let's get into it. So I had not watched a single football game of AFCON. I'm not a football fan. I honestly couldn't care less. Saw a post. Obviously, the famous streamer, Aisha Speed, he went to Algeria. He's been touring the world. But particularly, there's a video that went viral of his trip to Algeria where they were booing him out the stadium. He was wearing an Algerian jersey. In fact, I'll just insert the clip.
Watch the game. Come on. They throwing stuff? They don't like me. You don't throw water at somebody you don't like. No. I don't
like you, but they don't like them to film them, you know? It's okay.
Get out of here. Let's get out of here.
Don't like the camera.
What? They throwing stuff?
Turn stone.
Ah, shit. Why they throwing stuff? What they throwing?
North Africa,
I'm not even on the right.
you have finally showed us who you are again.
They don't like being filmed. They don't like being filmed. Just water.
I know, but why they throwing it? Done, chat. Yo, tell this guy we done. Why are we just...
Let me check it.
Tell him let's go.
Day before yesterday, Speed was in Egypt. That was the first North African country he stepped in. Remember, before Speed stepped in, people were warning him about visiting North Africa. That these people are very racist towards black people, you know. And the first country he visited in North Africa was Egypt. He was handled very bad. Yesterday he went to Algeria, black section of Algeria, the black people section, and he was treated very good. He had a very nice time yesterday. That was the dark-skinned people of Algeria. Today now he went to the city in Algeria and met the real invaders, those who came to steal our land. And guess what? He is not welcome. They try to mask their racism, try to hide their racism till the end of the stream, where their true colors had to come out. They were stoning Speed with bottle of water. Can you imagine? The whole day he was in Algeria, being celebrated everywhere.
I even watched a YouTube video on it. I'll insert another clip. And after I found out Senegal had won, obviously, you know, Senegal rek, I saw this video of Algeria and it upset me to the point where I posted on my main IG story. I said, at this point, all North Africans, like, dissect the whole of North Africa and take them to the Middle East. This was tongue-in-cheek. Like, I was half playful but half, like, not playing. And honestly, at the time when I posted this, I did consider about the 4 North Africans I know in person. I wouldn't say there's that many, probably more so in London than in Birmingham, but overall, you find more of them in France than in the UK, in my personal experience. And, you know, they would know who they are. 1 Algerian, 2 Moroccans, and I'm trying to think who the other North African is, but do you know what I mean? Like, I can count on one hand how many I know, and they've all been good to me. And I wasn't expecting one of them to be, and shout out to you, you know who you are. I wasn't expecting one of them to be offended. I was expecting them to see it, but I wasn't really expecting them to be offended by it, because I thought surely she would know I'm only referring to the racist ones who don't know themselves. She's Moroccan, by the way, for context. We had like friendly fire, like a healthy debate. She said that I was fighting discrimination with discrimination, and that, you know, it's trying to basically say like I can't fight a fight with fire, and that 2 wrongs don't make a right. And she's disappointed because she thought that I know better, I'm educated, and I'm the last person that she would expect to have said such a thing. And I sort of clapped back and said, well, it's a majority, and you're saying it's a minority. And it's made me want to do this video because I feel like there's a bigger issue at heart. People think that it's Africans, all of Africa, all of the world against Morocco right now. And I find that a lot of Moroccans and North Africans in particular right now are on the defense, saying that it's only a small minority of idiots that are racist. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. That's not true. And I find someone being offended about me saying dissect North Africa and put them in the Middle East. I find being offended over the fact that I'm, quote, generalizing that majority of them are racist and saying that it's a small minority. I find that in itself offensive. I find the fact that downplaying our walk as dark-skinned black Africans, I find that offensive, because how can someone with literal white skin, European descent, tell me how I should feel on a situation regarding my people? And I can say, you know, obviously what I said wasn't nice, but it's sort of like, you don't have to like what I said. And the thing was, I wasn't even trying to fall out with her, and I'm not trying to fall out with anyone, but I will stand on business and I will fight for my people at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand race wars are a real thing, and like I said, this is what the devil wants. The devil wants people to be, but I want to come at a place of education, because I've been really hot-headed about the situation. It's one of those things where the more I think about it, the more it's agitating me, because let's break it down. I didn't watch a single football. Like, this wasn't really about football. I was triggered by the treatment that Speed received in Algeria, and the reason why I reposted it is because I know Algeria is like, that's not a touristic place. That's not somewhere where you can just pick up a visa tomorrow and go. Only people teaching, educational, or like celebrities are really going to be able to get a visa to Algeria. So to see how a black man live in the flesh who is a celebrity was treated, you can only imagine how they treat the common folk. So it really like, I wouldn't say like it really upset me, like, oh, like I'm actually crying, but it made me feel a type of way. I thought, like, man, it made me think African Union, POC, solidarity, you know, one love, one nation, one blood. It made me think that's a myth. That video single-handedly changed my perspective, and people are allowed to change their mind. That video single-handedly popped that false idea that Africa is one blood. Before, I was like, yeah, Moroccans, you're my cousins. I've been there myself. And I think the stance my Moroccan friend was trying to tell me, she was trying to say like, well, I'm Moroccan, I've been there bare times, I know my people, you know. And it's like, but you are white. You are Moroccan, yes, but you could pass as European or Latino or whatever. So to tell me that it's a small minority of idiots that are racist in Morocco, that's kind of wild, because it's like, maybe you haven't witnessed it or you haven't been around it. But then she said, oh, we know this is a problem, it's just idiots, even the black Moroccans in Morocco are discriminated against. It's like, what are we doing here then? What are we even talking about? Do you know what I mean? I'm probably the last African in the world to jump on this, North Africans are racist bandwagon. I didn't want to believe it. I was delusional. I didn't want to believe it up until this point. I was like, you man are our cousins. Senegal, Morocco is so close. And, you know, and I know, I'm educated. I know that there were natives, like Amazigh people, and the Arabs came and colonized. And she was saying, we hate the Arabs for colonizing us as well. But the thing is, just because all the North Africans I met, they all knew that they was African. But just because you lot that were raised here know better, doesn't mean that majority back home do. And that's the point I'm trying to raise. Just because you have a brain cell and know that you're African and you're proud to be African, you claim being African and we claim you. That's it. But the ones that are like, we are Arab, we are European, we are just Moroccan, there's some out there for a fact. And when I went there, I was like, how do you guys see yourselves? And even the fact that I have to ask this question, it just goes to show that there is such a distinction between North Africans. Even the fact that, like, I could go to someone, oh, I'm African, I eat African food, you know, I'm from Africa. But a North African would genuinely say, I'm North African. There has to be that distinction. Why? Because of the difference, like, because of the infiltration, because of the mixing, because of the looks. Do you know what I mean? Doesn't necessarily make you any less African, but I'm not being funny, but in this day and age, Africans, we have been known to be taken advantage of. Like, our kindness is taken for granted, and we are just too welcoming of people. This is how we were slaves in the first place, because we are too hospitable to people. And I mean, that's half true. Half our own people sold us out, but that's a story for another day. Accountability where accountability is due. You know, no victim mentality here. I find it really rich though, speaking of victim mentality. Okay, the discourse online, as I'm going to keep mentioning, this is what the devil wants. And this is so nuanced. But at first, like, I'm trying to break it down chronologically. At first, I was offended that Speed was treated the way he was treated. Then I said what I said. Obviously, it was half tongue-in-cheek. Like, it was meant to be playful. Like, it wasn't too serious. And there's a reason why I said they need to go to the Middle East and not Europe. Because I know they've tried to join the European Union, if I'm not mistaken, not once, but twice. Right? And clearly they think because they're close to France and Spain that they're one and alike. And I think that, like, this is just a lot. Like, it's a lot to break down. It is a lot to break down. It's very, very nuanced. I'm just like, I don't script my points. I straight off the dome, I just say how I feel. But I'm not happy how we are treated as a whole. West Africans, mainly, carrying Africa on our backs. Yeah, some would say the true Africans, but I ain't trying to go into all of that. Like, Africa is one blood, one nation, but obviously the West carries. I say that as a Senegambian babe. Like, the West is carrying. We're very, very influential, and we were obviously a major part of the slave trade. We're very, and there's a lot of us, the bigger countries, Nigeria, Ghana, do you know what I'm saying? But that aside, right, I just, so I think trying to deny, like, so you as a Moroccan have an opinion that it's only a minority of idiots, but you ask any black African, they will have a different thing to tell you. So it's like, who's lying? Is it that someone's lying, or is that we have different walks and different perspectives? And it's like, if we do, that means that we live two very different realities. And I think the black experience is one that is very unique. And anyone that is non-black, I'm sorry, but you won't be able to relate. You might be able to empathize and see, oh yeah, we get treated a certain way. But if you're not from outside the club, you can't get in. Like, you wouldn't know. And I don't think it's right to tell black people how we should feel on certain situations if you haven't walked a day in our shoes, nor could you ever. That's what I take offense to. That's what was getting me heated, because it's like, trying to tell me it's a small minority. Like, I wanted to believe that as well. But actually, the more, you know what I mean? Like, the more discourse I'm seeing online, the more I'm starting to think, okay, like, they either think themselves as Arabs, or they think themselves as European, or they just want to say, oh, I'm my nationality and that's it. But to claim Africa, to be part of Mother Africa, Mama Africa, nunca nada, I know black, trying to cuss that off. Like, listen, even when Africans are getting cussed as a whole, our Africans have no water. Even Moroccans made those same jokes to West Africans, but Europeans, when they like to clown on Africa, North Africans don't tend to be a part of the discussion. And it's not necessarily because they're more infrastructured, they're wealthier. Of course, that plays a part, but I'm pretty sure if you look at the wealthiest countries in Africa, it's going to be like, I'm pretty sure Nigeria is going to take the cake. Maybe Kenya, South Africa. Like, it's not just Morocco and Algeria that's developed just because they're closer to Europe or whatever. Do you know what I mean? And I think it's rich that Moroccans are playing, I feel like they're playing victim. I can't lie. I feel like with the discourse online, they're saying they're like being prideful and posting this. And even I'm seeing that and I'm thinking, yo, what? Like, I get back in your country. I would too, just same way I'm back in my country. So fairs. But it's a thing, it's like, y'all is not the victim here. Like, you were saying Senegal's doing black magic. Again, okay, I didn't watch the football, so I cannot say, oh, they were playing dirty. But from going off what I see online, it seems like majorities like agrees that Senegal should have won. Morocco was playing dirty. But again, that's allegedly, that's speculation. I'm going to go based off the facts, which is majority of people I know. I've even asked my auntie in France. Like I said, a lot of North Africans in France, she told me, yeah, growing up, they're racist. They feel like they're superior. I didn't even have to ask. Do you know, it's not even something I have to ask. I asked my mom, because I'm thinking, I've just had this discourse with my own friend in real life. She's telling me I shouldn't have said what I've said. I'm sort of saying, well, I said what I said. And even though this was a few days ago, no tea, no shade, but it really feels like unresolved. And it's a thing that's bigger than me. This is why I had to come online and talk my shit, because I feel like this is bigger than me. Because what I thought was just a clip of me single-handedly being offended, not me single-handedly being offended, because obviously I can see the comments, but after going in the comments, like, this has clearly been an issue for a minute, but I feel like the football was just shed light on it. All eyes now are on Morocco, and everyone now, if you don't claim being African, we also do not claim you. And not to, you know, I'm not ahead of Africa. I'm not, you know, Dr. Umar to say your African card has been revoked. But I think Africans can collectively all agree that if you, as a North African, because it's mainly y'all, if y'all ain't trying to claim being African and being proud to be African and riding for Africans and being, you know, solidarity, then we also do not claim you. But I don't think it came the other way around. Let's not act like it was the other way around. I always claim my brothers and sisters. In fact, when it comes to African pride, one of my biggest flexes of being African is the fact that our continent is so diverse. The East look drastically different from the West. The culture is different from the South to the North. Like, we got white people, we got Chinese people, we got Arab people, we got nomads, we got Fula, and I think that's absolutely beautiful. But let's not act like it was us dark-skinned black Africans that were trying not to claim you. You guys were doing that by yourselves, and when we say it, then I think that's an issue. You guys have been screaming it and my post was never directed towards those not racist. And I also feel like, if you know you're not a racist North African, I don't know why I don't know why it would affect you for people to call out the majority, because either you're being deluded to it and you don't want to accept it as the truth because you haven't experienced it, or you just want to back your country and just, I don't even know what it is. Do you know what I mean? But the discourse online right now is absolutely insane. Like, I realize this is bigger than me. Like, you know, this is breaking apart families, this is ruining friendships, but it's a very important conversation to have and not to shy away from, because I actually felt strongly for it. I thought, and you know, I watched one like couple videos on it. I'm going to do some insights, and it's like, you know, the Moroccans are saying Dima Maghreb, like, you know, like Viva Morocco and this, that, and people are like Senegal Rek, and I'm gonna be like Senegal Rek, and I'm seeing things about towels and black magic, and I'm sure you guys have seen the discourse. If you've been on the internet recently and you're keeping up to date with this AFCON thing, you have seen the discourse, and I think it's mad and it's jarring, but I think it shed an issue on a bigger topic. I don't ever, you know, I think Moroccans are trying to be like, oh, no one claims us, the Arabs don't claim us, the Europeans don't claim us, Africans don't claim us, but I feel like y'all did that to yourselves. Like, other than obviously the Arabs colonizing, burn them for doing that. We're not rocking with them, and we know that they are mad racist, but you lot, you can't lie, you lot are mad mixed and influenced by them culturally, language wise, you know, even religion. So let us, even the look, at the end of the day, let's not act like, yeah, bare North Africans don't claim being Arab, or at least saying that they're mixed, or I'm North African Arab, or like, do you know what I mean? Like, someone, do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of them will beg it and be like, and I know that there were tribes native there, Amazigh, you know, I know, and if you look them up, they have the same like tan skin. And that's beautiful. The same with like Ethiopians and that. Them man are as African gets, they're literally on the horn, but them brothers, most of them are light skin. You get me? Eritreans and Ethiopians. Some of them can be dark, but some of them are light skin. Mad light skin. They even look mixed, right? Right? Because that's how diverse we are as a nation. I think trying to downplay and say, oh, it's only a minority of North Africans that are racist, I think that's an absolutely wild and delusional statement to make. And you know what? I wanted to believe at one point. I think to say you're disappointed in me for what I said, given no lies told, and me saying dissect it all and put it in the middle is, you know, I found it a bit funny. Obviously, you know, I couldn't even say I take it back, because it's like, I wasn't being dead ass like that, you know, obviously that's impossible, but the fact that I'm being told like that's discrimination on discrimination, it might be fire on fire, but I don't see it as discrimination, because you are the ones not claiming yourselves more time. And like I said, this was never meant to be for the ones that know who they are. So it's like, if you know who you are, why would you be offended by that? If you catch what I'm saying, it's like, if I make and then if you're getting mad about the generalization, but the generalization is facts though. And I know some people might be in the comments like, oh, well, when black people generalize, the statistics. But okay, but that comes a lot of times. Sometimes when things come out of spite and hate, like, your point is just done from there. Like, if we're trying to have an actual constructive conversation and trying to bring up numerics to me, then cool, that's calm. You're saying it out of a place of love, educating, that's calm. But like, do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm being a little bit hypocritical, I'm not even gonna lie. But I don't think Morocco are the victims in this situation. I'll be so real. Like, I think West Africans and Africans as a whole responding to the BS that they've been doing, and then now they're saying they like want to be all patriotic. I feel like it's do you know what I mean? I feel like it's justified. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's good reason why people are jumping down your necks, but don't act like you are the victim, like the whole world is against you, when you were playing dirty from the beginning. And I swear, like, you know, I've been speaking to my close loved ones, and they're telling me, oh, it's not the first instance, they were trying it with Nigeria before, oh, it's not the first time. And obviously we gotta be careful online nowadays. There's a lot of fake videos that will be online circulating the internet. We have to be mindful of AI and false narratives being spread. But what is not false is, you know, even people going to Morocco and saying that they've had racist experience. I've been seeing this even way back, but I never paid no mind, because me personally, I felt like I never had a racist experience. The only thing I would say to people say, oh, go to Morocco and see how you're really treated. Okay, let's be so for real. When I went there, I see it in a different light now, given what has happened. I found it a little bit funny then, but still a little bit distasteful. It's almost a cultural thing for all of these Moroccan people to tell black tourists, especially females, like, oh, I got told personally, Beyonce, Shakira, Obama wife, which is absolutely crazy, Oprah, any black celebrity under the sun, they will call you that. Rihanna, do you know what I mean? Anyone that is bait, they'll call you it. And although not necessarily harmful, like not offensive, especially, you know, that you can see that they're laughing and they're joking, like they're not saying it out of like hate, but the stereotyping is a bit mad, and I see it in a different light. I don't find it as funny as I did, but I don't find it in the same light. I don't find it as humorous as you know, it was never really funny back then to begin with. But now I see it in a different light. And even though I wouldn't say like that's racism, I've definitely seen countless videos of people advising against traveling to Morocco, against traveling to Tunisia. That's a major one. I think there's like bro, Egypt's been really quiet since this conversation started. I feel like because obviously the game was hosted in Morocco, Moroccans are taking the fall for this. But I think the most racist ones are the Algerians. The video I posted, when I say most of all of North Africa can go in the bin, I can't lie, I would say out of all of them, Morocco is the one that supports West Africans the most. But Algerians, and I'm not talking about the ones in European countries more time. I'm not talking about especially here. I feel like in France they're more like the ones from back home, I can't lie. So racist. But in the UK, I feel like they're more or less calm. obviously when they go home and they're talking with their parents, I know that the parents be saying my stuff like, don't even lie, bro. I know your mom says I'm ranting about black people. Bro, we know this. The same way Indians do, the same way Chinese do. Everyone chats on us, bro. We God's chosen people. I don't care. I'll say it. Yeah, I said it. Yeah, I said it. The true ones. That's why they're always trying to dim our light. That's why they, you know what I mean? Like, we get violated the most and discriminated against the most. But at the end of the day, who do they want to be like the most? Whose music and culture and who do they try and imitate all the time, bro? Okay then, enough said. You know what I mean? Like, no one can ever make me feel shame about being a proud dark-skinned black woman, African, fam. Like, what? What we doing here, fam? I'm like Dr. Uma levels of prideful to be where I come from, bro. Look at them, peep the melanin, bro. Do you know what I mean? When the sun falls down, I ain't gonna be the first one to burn to a crisp. You get me? Is it me? What was I even talking about? But yeah, how can you say, it's a minority of idiots, knowing damn well you could go home and your mom could, do you know what I mean? Like, your mom like, I saw this Negro, like, this monkey bit, like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just so imaginable. Like, it's not far-fetched to believe. And all the African people I spoke to, like, right off the bat, I was like, bro, like, what do you think of this situation? You know? And they were like, bro, like, this is a no-brainer. Like, we didn't need football to let us know that North Africans think that they're superior. Like, this is a no-brainer. Like, this ain't, do you know what I mean? Like, this has been talked about for time. Like, what were you even doing here? And I didn't want to believe it. So the fact that you're telling me you're disappointed for what I said, I'm probably the last African to jump on this bandwagon. That is the truth, right? To say it's a minority, I think it's absolutely wild when you even admitted out of your own mouth that even the black Moroccans in Morocco are discriminated against the Afro-Moroccans. That's absolutely wild. And I know this for a fact. I know this Moroccan thing. She's fully Moroccan. Mom's Moroccan, dad's Moroccan. But I know, you can tell by looking at her, she's Afro-Moroccan. Some of them look more European and some of them look as fucking Negro as I do, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, as you can see, I'm very fired up and very passionate about this conversation, because as the more I keep seeing the discourse, the more everything is just rubbing me off the wrong flipping way. I was originally talking about, I said the whole of North Africa because it is the majority. But if we're counting Egypt, this is the point I want to go back to. Egypt has been very, very quiet. Libya or Liberia, whatever it is, Libya, they've been very quiet. But those two, and Tunisia as well. Tunisia I know is problematic. I've seen videos about Tunisia. I've not been there myself, but I've seen the videos. I've seen the videos online. You know, obviously Morocco is a popular destination. I had a great holiday. I loved it. I would go back, probably. You know, and I feel like there's a reason why. Why do you think there's a reason why us black Africans, we don't, before we even risk our lives trying to go through the back way, drowning in the river to go to Europe, why do you think we wouldn't just migrate within Africa and just go to like North Africa? It's because they're racist. They don't want black people there. You'll just have a hard life for yourself. It's better to just stay in your country or go to another West African country or wherever you gotta go. Like, there's a reason why all these Lebanese coming in and building up shops in the Gambia, and like, you know, it's like the Arabs are trying to like recolonize. Like, it's not right, fam. Before, people would be gassed because they're half Gambian, half Lebanese. That's not a flex, fam. They're trying to recolonize all over again, the same like the Chinese, but that's a story for another day. Egyptians have been known to be racist, fam, and I feel like we give them do you know what I mean? Like which Egyptian do you know will actually say, I'm African, I'm proud? They'll just say, I'm Egyptian. Oh, I'm proud to be Egyptian. We built the pyramids. But do you actually see them doing up African pride? No, you don't, fam. We West Africans are carrying Africans, and you man are complaining because you feel like you're being bullied out of Africa. But you lot the ones not trying to apply for the EU. And when I say you, I'm generalizing, and I'm talking about obviously the racist ones, not the ones who know that where they come from. I can't emphasize that enough. If you are Moroccan, if you're Algerian, if you're Egyptian, and you claim just as much, we claim you. That's how it is. But don't be offended when we say, nah, you can't, you know, we don't claim you, when you were the ones trying to distinguish yourselves for the longest of times. Like, it don't make sense. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, maybe two wrongs don't make a right. But another point I was saying was, West Africans and black Africans, we've never gone out of our way to make Moroccans feel bad or drag them down, or, you know, but I feel like the vice versa can be said. you know. So I feel like Morocco trying to act like they're being attacked left, right and centre, and like the victim games and pointing fingers and acting as if they're being backed into a corner doesn't make sense, because we never like came at you unprovoked to tell you you're not African. You were the one saying that. So when we started questioning it and other people started questioning it, now you're trying to say like, like we you know, we are trying to kick you, you know, like not include you. Like y'all did that for yourselves. We just sort of be like, all right, like cool, if that's what you want. And then you're like, you know what I mean? And there was another point I was thinking about. Oh yeah, I think people say, everyone is jealous of Morocco. Can we be so for real? The same way I've never woke up feeling jealous that I'm not anything other than who I am, I'm pretty sure goes the same for everyone, okay? Like, a Polish person is not going to wake up and be like, damn, I wish I was Russian. An Indian person not going to wake up and be like, damn, I wish I was white, Chinese, like... Do you know what I mean? I think everyone is more or less happy to be like where they're from. Like, let's be so... No one, who is jealous of Morocco? No one just woke up and be like, I wish I was Moroccan. I wish, you know, I was born in... Marrakesh. Like, no one, like, bro, no one is trying to hate and drag you down, but trying to say that us calling you out on your bullshit is hate is, I think it's absolutely what I do think there's levels to it. Of course, I've seen bad behavior on both sides, don't get me wrong, but I definitely think there was someone who started it. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm mad because we finished it, and that's the attitude I'll have. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I think that is the uniqueness of the black situation. It's so indescribably unique. If you're not black, they could never get it. They just think we like to just bitch and moan and complain about everything and always have to be the victims, but they would never know until they walk a day in our shoes. That's why black people are so tight knit with each other, because it's like you can't really explain this. You can't get to the nitty gritty to someone who's non-black, because I just feel like they just think that you're just playing the race card all the time. But everything does go to race. No colorism at least, because we're all, you know, if we are taking the position that we're all native Africans, then it's colorism, then texturism. It's, you know what I mean? Like, you man think that you're superior because you're closer to being European than us. You know what I'm saying? But I think this whole thing of people saying, you know, everyone's jealous of Morocco. Like, be proud of where you come from, back your country, but let's not act like majority of the grandparents and the parents even are raised like this young generation. Of course, like, they're gonna be chill, but let's not act like, do you know what I mean? The things I've been seeing online also, it seems like it's harboring, it's like hidden stuff. Anyways, y'alls, I wasn't even gonna make a video on this. I was meant to make a video on something completely unrelated, but whilst this is a trending topic, whilst this is relevant, and whilst it's on my chest, I thought, let me talk about it. If I have forgotten anything, I'll be sure to make a part 2. I've broken this down, I've been ranting and raving. 2 of my friends have been absolutely hearing me talk my ear off. I talked to my cousins about this, I spoke to my auntie about this, I spoke to my mum about this. I thought, this is mad, you know. Like, I think what's even more mad is, like, people getting mad of a generalization that is low-key true. Like, you might have a different opinion, but if you was to ask your peeps, they might say one thing, and if I was to ask my peeps, they might say one thing. And I feel like, obviously, if we're saying it happened to us, like, you can't downplay our experience. Like, I think that is offensive, and I feel like that's what people that are non-black try to do. And this is why y'all don't be a part of the conversation, because how are you trying to tell us what we experience? You know what I mean? Like, you might be from the place, but you're not gonna have the same experience being a native white person from there than, you know, say actual African, not actual, but like dark-skinned Africans. Do you know what I'm saying? I was just editing and I wanted to add in an extra point. Sorry for not showing my face, but even the distinction between Africans and North Africans, someone in my comments was like, oh, as a light-skinned North African, and I was like, why not just say you African, bro? Like, why do you have to put you light skin in front of it? Or there's such a distinction, I feel like, between North Africans and the rest of Africans that it just tells on itself. Anyways, y'all, I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to leave a like, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one.